Your support helps us bring you programs you love. Go to wyomingpbs.org, click on Support, and become a sustaining member or an annual member. It's easy and secure. Thank you.
The Wyoming Women's Antelope Hunt was founded in 2013 by the Wyoming Women's Foundation as an opportunity for mentoring and developing camaraderie between women. Producer Margaret Benson travels to Ucross and learns about the hunt that honors our state's cultural roots. Next on Wyoming Chronicle.
Funding for Wyoming PBS is provided in part by the Dragisevich Foundation, supporting the work of the Jackson Hole Historical Society and Museum.
I love the challenge of hunting. It's about matching skills, matching wits, and challenging an animal in a fair chase environment and trying to succeed. I've been hunting for about 5 years. Since then, I've not hunted with a whole lot of ladies. It definitely is male-dominated industry, but I think women are the fastest growing demographic in hunting, and it's wonderful. So I think what the Wyoming Women's Foundation is doing, there's nothing else that exists in the country that's like this hunt.
Our mission at the Wyoming Women's Foundation is to invest in economic self-sufficiency for women and opportunities for girls. And what that means is really to make sure that Wyoming is a place where women and families can thrive and be successful. We do that through a variety of ways, but primarily through grant making to different programs throughout the state, also through being the host of the annual Wyoming Women's Antelope Hunt. The Wyoming Women's Antelope Hunt has become a big event for us. It is, no question, our biggest fundraiser of the year, and it also is the biggest outreach event that we have each year. It's really a way for us to connect with people in different parts of the state and bring them into not only the mission of the Women's Foundation, but also to an event that really helps cultivate and grow a Wyoming tradition of hunting.
The Wyoming Women's Antelope Hunt is something that women in Wyoming can be proud of. It's the only big game hunt just for women, and it's something that is unique across the country.
It's always been at the Ucross. There's just a tremendous amount of game up there. A lot of draws and creek bottoms and hills and lots of lush feed for those animals. Of course, the whole time you can look over at the Bighorn, so it's pretty spectacular scenery.
How fun is it to have 40 women gather, some new hunters, some old, all to celebrate sustainability and empowerment through the hunt. There's shotgun shooting if you've already tagged out, there's fly fishing, and you can learn how to process your own game, there's cooking classes. I mean, they've really thought of the entire process, from the field to the plate, and it'll be one of my favorite weekends of all time.
Welcome to Wyoming Chronicle. My name is Margaret Benson, and I'm the host for your program today. Let me introduce my guests that I have on the ranch today. And my first guest is Marilyn Kite, and Marilyn is the co-founder of the Wyoming Women's Antelope Hunt. Thank you for being here, Marilyn.
Thank you.
Okay. My second guest is Sarah Chapman, and Sarah is the executive director of the Wyoming Women's Foundation. Thank you for joining us, Sarah. Then we have Havely, and Havely is a novice or a beginner or a first-timer with the hunt, and we're really excited to hear what your experiences have been as well. So,
well, my name's Marilyn Kite.
Yes.
I was born and raised in Laramie, Wyoming, and went to law school at the University of Wyoming, undergraduate and law school, and practiced law for about 20 years, and then the last 15 years of my career, I was serving on the judiciary on the Wyoming Supreme Court.
Yes. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was a real.
You did splendidly.
Well, it was a real privilege. And then I lived in Jackson, Wyoming for 27 years or so, and we just recently moved back to Laramie.
Oh, that's right.
I have my husband and I moved back. My son, we have one son who is in Colorado right now, so we're closer to family. I still have family in Laramie. So. And I had got involved with hunting a long time ago when my dad took us all out. He hunted from the time he was a child. He was raised in Hannah and would hunt in that general vicinity. So hunting has always been kind of a part of our culture and our family.
Yes.
I love the wild meat when we can get it.
Yes.
And
you
that's
hunt
what
many
motivates
things
us.
besides antelope.
Well, yes, I have over the years. Elk and deer and moose once. But it's the ability to be out and enjoy yourselves, and at the same time, come home with meat that you enjoy and can share with your family.
That's great.
So I'm sort of a Wyoming born and bred.
Yes, you are.
Don't seem to go very far.
Yeah, that's all right. But where you are, you made a big impact,
Well,
Marilyn. We appreciate
I've
that
been
very much.
very fortunate.
Okay, Sarah, how about you? Give us some background about you for our audience.
Absolutely. I'm Sarah Chapman, and my husband and I live in Laramie, and we're both Wyoming alumni. I'm from Cheyenne originally, and went to school at UW, and then I have spent some time in a variety of different roles, but my background really is in fundraising at the collegiate level. So formerly at Wyoming's Cowboy Joe Club, which was a fun time.
Oh, I bet that was fun.
It was a wonderful time, and as an alumni to be there,
Yeah.
it's a really, really special time in my life. But that's where I met my husband, and then I had the opportunity to join the staff at the Wyoming Community Foundation as the director of the Women's Foundation, and I've been there for about 3 years.
Okay.
And that has really been a transformative experience for me personally, and the work that we do for women throughout the state of Wyoming, and helping them attain economic self-sufficiency, and then providing opportunities for girls to have a bright future. So that's been really special and meaningful for me. And also to participate in and host this event. And it's just such a treat for me personally, but also for our organization to be involved with it.
Excellent.
My name is Haveley Holt, and I was raised in Gillette. I went to UW and majored in international ag and economics. I went on to get a teaching certificate, and I teach 4th grade now. This is my 14th year in teaching, and I have 3 kids.
Excellent, excellent. Sarah, what is the background of the creation of the Wyoming Women's Foundation?
Absolutely. The Wyoming Women's Foundation has been around since 1999. And it started because of a challenge grant from a woman named Merle Chambers and her family, the Chambers Family Fund. And they really wanted to create a permanent resource in Wyoming for women and girls. And so they approached the Wyoming Community Foundation and with this idea, and the Community Foundation, of course, was thrilled with the opportunity to provide such an impactful piece to the work that they already were doing. And they started this fund and set up $1 million endowment, which we have to this day. And we grant funds from that program, or from that, we grant funds from that endowment to programs across the state of Wyoming. And the purpose is to invest in economic self-sufficiency for women and girls. And we've done that through a variety of ways, but recently we've been working around Wyoming's gender wage gap, around economic self-sufficiency. So we've just released Wyoming's self-sufficiency standard. It's a lengthy report, but shows per county what families need to make ends meet. And so we've done some research there. And then recently we have partnered with the Wyoming Women's Business Center to further a individual development account program that they have, which helps women secure funds for starting a business, continuing education, or purchasing a home. So 3 avenues that really help secure a family's financial stability.
Oh, that's fantastic. And in this state, there's so much need for that, especially the gender gap. So it's good to hear that you're part of that and doing so much in the state for the women in the state. Very much appreciated. Marilyn, so tell me the concepts behind the development or the creation of the Wyoming Women's Antelope Hunt.
Well, it started out as kind of just a dream and an idea. My sister-in-law and I have hunted together over the years, and we were out in our hunting camp area in the Red Desert and having just shot an antelope, and I think it was her that came up with the idea that, you know, it'd be great to have a women's hunt. And then I thought about it. We all talked about it. I have a good friend, Lynn Boomgarden, who was starting to hunt.
Yes,
and
she's delightful.
She's an executive, so she gets things done. I don't think this would have happened without her leadership, but she learned that these hunts can be fundraisers for good causes.
Oh, I see.
And so obviously we couldn't do an event of this size just ourselves, and when we were able to partner with the Women's Foundation, it could become a reality. But the idea really was there are a lot of women who have never had the opportunity to hunt. There's a lot that want to hunt but don't have, you know, the resources or the family support that is involved in the sport. And it is a little intimidating as to how do I go about getting into this sport.
Sure.
And so it was both the idea that we would have fun together as women, just the camaraderie of hunting with other women, but then encourage women who hadn't enjoyed the sport to learn it.
Yes.
And so that was the general concept. It's been a wonderful, I don't know if surprise is the right word, but how impactful this has been on women. In some cases they claim that it's kind of a life-changing event for them, to give them a sense of accomplishment and self-esteem and self-sufficiency, and it's become kind of an emotional experience.
Yes, I can see that in your eyes
yeah,
when
it
you
really
talk
has.
about it. Yeah.
Well, and when you see these women, it's inspiring. It really is, and it's great. It's our 5th year this year, which is shows we have staying power, and we have 44 women hunting every year. So. Some return hunters, but mostly new hunters every year.
So there are 44 women
total hunters,
right? And are you always at UCross, or do you go some other place?
We have been. It's a wonderful location for us. The ranchers around here have been so generous, and we hunt mainly on private ranches, although there is some public land involved. And then we try to have a mix of experienced hunters and first-timers, as well as a scholarship program for women that can't afford to come on their own. So it's been wonderfully successful. We are excited about the future, but we have a lot of work to do to make it sustainable over time.
And it's my understanding it's just not women from Wyoming that participate, they come from other places as well?
They do. Sarah would know the statistics more, but every year we have people, it always surprises me, you know, from New England, from California. I think we have some Missouri this time.
Texas, Mississippi, Florida.
Yes.
We have had folks from all over the U.S.
And the people who come that are not from Wyoming, they must be totally into the sport of antelope hunting. Is that correct?
Well, you know better.
Yes, or just totally into the idea of this experience.
I
and
see.
So we do have some first-time hunters that come from other places.
Yes.
And are just immersed in this experience, which is really wonderful, and I think also life-changing for them.
And to do it with other women, you know, that's a really special opportunity and empowering, I would say.
Yes,
all right?
Certainly.
Well, and basically non-competitive. It's a little bit less competitive than, and I'm speaking from my personal experience, hunting with family and friends, than it tends to be when the men are involved. But at the same time, there is some competition, that friendly competition, but the pairing of experienced hunters with inexperienced hunters is the real goal.
So that's the concept that really is what makes it unique. Excellent, excellent. So, Havely, why did you decide to come to the hunt for the first time?
Well, fly fishing is my passion, and sometimes it's hard to make those connections with other women in such a male-dominated industry. And so when I heard that there was a hunt just for women, I jumped on that opportunity to make those connections and network with other women who might have some similar interests as I do. And when my friend Jillian called to deliver the news that I was able to go on scholarship, I was just over the moon excited, and still had 6 months to wait for the hunt. It's been a long 6 months.
So you've been visualizing it in your mind, and trying on your camo, and
all the time.
Yeah, excellent. That's excellent. Yeah. So Sarah, what are your favorite highlights or activities or events that are surrounded by the hunt?
Absolutely. Well, I love certainly that we're able to offer this opportunity for women to have this experience. But what I also love is here on the ranch, we're able to offer some other activities that they may not have been exposed to before. And so Haveley mentioned one of them, fly fishing. We had fly fishing this morning, which was lovely. We have trap and skeet shooting here. We also have the opportunity for women to learn to process their own meat. So that is a really important piece when we talk about self-sufficiency and how a woman could hunt with her family and then provide that meat for their family.
And the
for
conservation
year.
piece of that goes along
The
with that.
conservation piece is so critical, and it's so important to keeping Wyoming the place that we all love. So it's really important part of what we believe in Wyoming, but also it's so critical for that one family. It makes a really big difference.
Yes.
So I love that they have the exposure to do some of these other activities that we're able to offer here. And so it's so much more than just a hunt itself.
Yes.
One of the challenges that I will mention about hosting an event of this nature, which requires so many logistics, is certainly with licensing and ensuring that we have enough licenses to fill the hunting slots themselves. And so that's just one logistical challenge, and we are working with that all the time. And thanks to our outfitter and the relationships that he has here with our landowners that are very supportive, we're able to host all of our hunters on, as Marilyn mentioned, mainly private land.
Yes.
So that is one challenge. And then it's a really big event for 4 days. So logistically, it takes a lot of time for our staff to coordinate all of that, but we're thrilled to do it, and we look forward to it all year.
Okay, all right. Marilyn, what are some of your favorite highlights and activities? And describe, also, I would like to know what all events are included, but highlights personally for you and challenges personally for you.
Well, I think, of course, the highlight always is if you get an antelope, which I was lucky enough to get this year. It's amazing to me how many of our women do fill their, I don't know what the number will be today, but we have 44 hunters, and we usually get over 40 women that get their antelope. And that's not been my experience in hunting before, but partly it's because there's just a lot of game up in this part of the state. And the other highlight for me is getting to see and get to know these historic ranches around here. Beautiful, beautiful country. Most of them that I've had the chance to hunt on have been in their family for generations. So learning the history of this part of Wyoming, which I'm not particularly familiar with, and getting to see this country is a tremendous highlight. And the other, we have a opening banquet with that starts the event. That's always fun, where everybody gets to meet each other.
Sure.
And then we have a auction and large public banquet that we just had last night, which was a roaring success. Over 300 people. We were sold out.
300 people, so people come
all over the state. We had people come, and it's just a very high energy, exciting event.
Yeah.
We hope it is profitable, because of course we can't do this unless we can make sufficient profit for the Women's Foundation to be able to do this event. So that's always an exciting time, and there's live auctions and
there's a big prize this year, wasn't there?
Well, there was a couple big trips, one to the Caribbean, one to Africa.
Yeah, I saw the big whatever it was on your posted on your website,
exactly.
And I thought, wow.
And of course we have people. A lot of those things are donated from businesses all over the state and individuals all over the state. So that's a great excitement. And then tonight we have the awards banquet, and I'll let Sarah talk more about the individual awards, but we work real hard to make the awards geared towards encouraging the behavior that you want, ethical hunting and safe hunting. And so that's always fun. And of course, if you get an animal with one shot, you get an award.
That's a big deal.
Sarah knows the details of that more, but that's always fun tonight, because it's just the hunters and the guides. And I do have to say, the other highlight is every year, this is my 5th year hunting, you get a different guide and you get to hunt on a different ranch. And the guides are fantastic, and they get very supportive of their hunters, and they're very into the whole process. And I learn something every year, because you hunt with somebody different, and that's been great.
That's cool. Before we hear about the activities tonight, I want to ask Havely, how was your experience going out for the first time, and what were the highlights for you, and what were the challenges?
My experience was absolutely amazing. And like I said before, I was here on scholarship. The scholarship I received was funded by Shelley Simonton, who recently passed away. And so yesterday I had the opportunity to hunt with her husband and Marilyn, and my guide.
That must be a very poignant and moving experience.
And my guide was a local landowner. And before we even got to our location yesterday morning, I had already decided that it was already a successful day.
Yes. And the challenges for you were?
Well, in part of the successful day that we had was just because we were bouncing around in a truck,
For a long time.
listening to stories of hunts years past, stories of Shelley, laughing, lots of laughing, and just enjoying the beauty of Wyoming. And so at that point, before we even got there, it was a huge success. Harvesting an animal was definitely a bonus, but the whole experience was just something that you can't ever replicate again. So it was very special.
Nervous at all?
I was really nervous at the sight-in process when we were sighting in our guns. Super nervous then. When we were actually hunting, I wasn't nervous at all. And I found it to be very calming, and you had something that you needed to focus on and a job to do. And so it was a very positive experience. And I can't think of really any challenge that would have made it a not positive experience. The guide was very, very supportive. And other than belly crawling over and over again.
Over the sagebrush and rock.
The legs and the knees are a little sore today, but other than that, it was a very positive and life-changing experience. It was wonderful.
Well, I can say she's very patient and did a lot of stalking, long-range stalking. She worked for that shot, and that's always fun to watch.
99 yards.
99 yards.
Does it have to be 99
No,
yards?
no, that was how far her shot was.
Oh, okay.
But she crawled a lot longer than that.
Oh, yeah.
To a couple different locations.
Because they're so skittish. So let's go. Well, I'm so glad that you got your antelope, and congratulations to you. That's
Thank you.
Something I'm sure that makes all the founders and the directors very, very happy when someone comes for the first time. And so you're going to talk a little bit about the dinner tonight and some of the awards?
Yes, so tonight, as Marilyn mentioned, is our awards dinner. And this is really a special time for our hunters and guides because they have certainly built these relationships already, and they've been together for a few days. And so now the stories come out of different hunts and, the jokes that they had, and they're really sharing this really special time together.
Yes.
And it really is the culmination of the week's events. And so tonight we will have some different awards. We have one for what we call the Super Stalker Award, and it is for the woman who stalks her animal and has the closest shot. So we've had some people get as close, I think, as 35 yards is the closest, which is really amazing and just helps promote, as Marilyn mentioned, the ethical hunting to make sure that you take the best shot and to have the best chance at harvesting your animal. And then we work very closely with the Boone and Crockett Club on structuring our awards, which was something that in the beginning was very important to structuring this event because we wanted to be sure that we were promoting not the competition aspect, but really the conservation and ethics that are so important when teaching someone how to hunt. And so they helped define these awards. So we do have some other awards. We have one for anyone that harvested their animal. We also have one for everyone that did get one shot. And so that's pretty special too. And then we have a team award, which is really fun. We have some sponsors that bring an entire team together. So in order for them to win the team award, they all have to have harvested, and then also it's the average distance for each of their shots. And so whoever has the collective closest average, they win the team award. And we have a really neat cup that we pass around from team to team called the Founders Cup. So,
love that. That's good.
Yes, so that's really special. And then we just really allow time for people to share their stories about their hunts and share some of the really special moments they had. And then we have one very special award that's the Teddy Roosevelt Award. And it is really in the spirit of the hunter that has really persevered through, they may have harvested, they may have not, but that they just really maintained integrity and determination and focus. And that is an award that we give actually on behalf of the Boone and Crockett Club and our partnership with them. And it's a really special award as well. So it's a lovely night.
The whole event from beginning to end and with your dinner later on tonight, it just sounds like a fantastic event. And I hope that women watching this show will become excited and want to be with you. So my last question is, how do women get involved in the Wyoming Women's Foundation?
Absolutely. So the Wyoming Women's Foundation, we have a website, which is wywf.org.
Okay.
And we have all kinds of information on there about the projects that we do and the work that we've been doing across Wyoming. And also my contact information is on there, so they could email or call me anytime. So happy to share that information with them.
Excellent. And thank you to our viewing audience for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Wyoming Chronicle.